Let me ask you something. What if it's not the economy, your family, or your IQ that's holding you back, but 5 invisible enemies living in your own mind? A little inner committee that votes on every dream you have and almost always says, no, don't start, don't post, don't change. In this video, I'm not giving you more success hacks. I'm going to expose those 5 enemies and show you how to finally fire them. Before we talk about those 5 enemies, we need to talk about the world that feeds them. A long time ago, people were judged by real faces. Your parents, your neighbors, the people in your street who actually knew your name. If they talked about you, at least they knew your story. Today, most of the judgment you're afraid of comes from shadows, not real people, not people who love you, just usernames, profile pictures, view counts, a scrolling crowd of strangers who see you for 3 seconds and then forget you exist. We are living in a strange society. Everyone is scared of everyone else's opinion, but almost nobody truly cares enough to think about you for longer than a moment. There's even a name for this in sociology, the imaginary audience. You walk into a room and feel like everyone is looking at you. In reality, they are all busy worrying about how they look to you. Online, this gets worse. You want to post a video, your brain screams. What if they laugh? Who is they? You don't know. You've never met them. They have no impact on your real life. But in your mind, they become a jury. You want to switch careers. You want to start a business. You want to dress differently. Immediately, you hear it. What will people say? We don't live for what is important to us. We live for what we think other people think is important. So here is the crazy loop. You are scared to take action because of people. Those people are scared to take action because of other people. And that chain goes on and on. A whole world of talented humans, all stuck, all watching each other, all afraid of each other's opinions, while nobody really moves. No one is truly free, but everyone thinks they are being judged. The truth, 90% of the fear in your mind comes from people who are not actually in your life. No name, no face, no shared memories, just shadows you created in your own head. And those shadows are the perfect food for the enemies inside you. Because when you live in a world like this, 5 silent forces grow stronger every single day. First, there is the fear of what will people say, the fear of judgment that keeps your life small. Second, there is ego, the voice that says, I already know. I don't need to change, even when your results are screaming for change. Third, there's quick results addiction. That part of you that wants everything now, instantly or not at all. Fourth, there is tomorrow. That soft, sweet promise that you'll start later while it quietly steals years of your life. And finally, there is old identity. The version of you that feels safe, familiar, comfortable, and completely incompatible with the life you say you want. These are the 5 enemies we are going to expose in this video. And here is the good news. I'm not here to give you 20 new habits. I'm not here to overload you with more things to do. This video is not about adding more. It's about removing what is secretly blocking you. If you can understand these 5 enemies, if you can see how they operate in your daily life, you can start to take back control from the shadows in your head. So let's start with the first one. The one that has probably stolen more dreams than failure ever has. The fear of what will people say. Let's talk about the first enemy. the one you already know very well. The enemy called what will people say? Be honest. How many times have you killed an idea before it was even born just because of that one sentence? You open your phone, you write a post from the heart. Your finger moves toward the publish button, and then it hits you. Wait, what will people say? Delete. You look in the mirror, you want to try a new haircut, a new style, something that feels more like you. Then your brain whispers, what if they think it's weird? What if they laugh? You walk out with the same old look again. You hate your job. You secretly dream about changing careers, starting over, maybe launching your own channel. But the movie in your head starts playing. What will my cousins say? What will my coworkers say? What will my friends say if I fail? So you stay. Same chair, same desk, same complaints. Some of you even want to start YouTube. You know you have something to say, but then you imagine your relatives in the group chat. Who do they think they are? Influencer now? And suddenly your dream has to ask for permission from people who don't even pay your bills. We fear embarrassment more than we fear failure. Think about that. Embarrassment lasts 30 seconds. Regret lasts a lifetime. 30 seconds of someone maybe laughing versus 30 years of you looking back and thinking, I could have done something. I could have been someone else. And here's the craziest part. Most of the people you are scared of are not even clearly defined. They're not your best friend. They're not the person who loves you. They are a blurry crowd in your mind. You don't even know their names. They are shadows. You are living in a prison built from imaginary eyes. You want to go to the gym, but you're scared. People will say, look at them, trying to be fit now, acting fancy. You want to take a course, but you're scared. They'll say, oh, so now you think you're better than us? You want to post your art, your ideas, your voice, but you stay silent because somewhere a group of invisible critics might roll their eyes. Meanwhile, out there in the real world, people are doing wild, ridiculous things on the internet. And nobody cares for more than a few seconds. The truth is, most people are too busy worrying about what others think of them to think seriously about you. Every time you let what will people say decide for you, you are signing over the remote control of your life to a group of people who mostly exist in your imagination. You become smaller so that some imaginary audience can feel comfortable. But this is only the first enemy, because if what will people say is the voice that stops you from starting, the next enemy is the voice that stops you from learning. It's not other people. It's the quiet voice inside that says, I already know. I don't need help. That enemy has a name too. It's called ego. Now, let's talk about the second enemy. This one doesn't shout. It doesn't say, I'm here to destroy your life. It says something softer. I know already. I've been doing this for 10 years. I don't need help. This enemy is called ego. You've seen it. A young guy watches 3 TikTok videos about business, and suddenly he thinks he's Warren Buffett. You try to give him advice, and he cuts you off with, yeah, I know. He doesn't know. But his ego hates the idea of looking like a beginner. Or the opposite. Someone has been at the same job for 20 years. The company brings in a new tool, a new system, a new skill, and they say, I've done it this way my whole life. Why should I change now? Translation. If I admit I need to learn, I have to admit I'm not as in control as I pretend to be. Ego is dangerous because it feels like strength. It feels like confidence. But most of the time, it's just a fear dressed in a nice suit. There is a concept in psychology called self-handicapping. What does it mean? It means you create obstacles for yourself so that if you fail, you can protect your pride. You don't study properly, so if you get a bad grade, you can say, I didn't even try. You don't prepare for the presentation. So if it goes badly, you can say, well, I only did it last minute anyway. Your brain is not trying to ruin your life. It is trying to protect your ego. Another pattern, comfort preservation. Your brain wants to keep you in what feels familiar. New skill, that's uncomfortable. New feedback, that hurts. So ego steps in and says, this is boring. This book is useless. This course is a scam. These people don't know what they're talking about. Why? Because if the book is useless and the course is a scam, then you don't have to admit that you are scared to be a beginner again. Think about how many times you said, I really should learn that, and then immediately found a reason not to. Too busy, too tired, wrong timing, or fancy clothes hiding a simple truth. I don't want to feel stupid. Ego would rather keep you comfortable and stuck than humble and growing. And this doesn't only happen with individuals. Ego can infect entire groups. Remember the first enemy? What will people say? In companies and organizations, that sentence changes costume. It becomes, that's not our culture. That's not how we do things here. This is against our tradition. Sometimes that's true and wise. But many times, it's just a polite way of saying, we're too proud to change. There are companies that refuse to go digital because they believed our way has always worked. There are governments that ignored warnings because they believed we are too strong to fail. There are teams that never innovate because every new idea is killed by one sentence. We've tried that before. It doesn't work. That is collective ego. A group identity that says we are right by default. We are the good guys by default. We don't need to listen. History is full of giants who collapsed, not because they were weak, but because they were too proud to adapt. When one person refused to say, I was wrong, they stay where they are. When a whole team, a whole company, a whole country refused to say, we were wrong, everyone under them pays the price. So test yourself. When was the last time you said, I don't know, teach me? When was the last time you changed your mind because new information arrived? When was the last time you listened more than you spoke? Ego will never come to you and say, hey, I'm ruining your life. It will say, you're fine, you're smarter than them, you're ahead already. And as long as you believe that, you stop moving. But here is the good news. Ego has one weakness, humility, not humiliation. Humility sounds like this. I don't know enough yet. I can learn from anyone. I made a mistake. I'll fix it. I'm willing to start at level 1 again. When you choose humility, you don't become smaller. You simply stop blocking the door that leads to your next level. And in our world today, there is something that makes ego even stronger. Something that tells you, if it doesn't work fast, it's not worth it. We live in an age where everything feels instant. Instant food, instant messages, instant entertainment. But there is one thing that it will never be instant. Real success. That's where the third enemy comes in. Your addiction to quick results. Now, let's talk about the two brothers that quietly kill more dreams than any crisis ever could. The first one wants everything fast. The second one says, tomorrow. Let's start with the first brother. Your addiction to quick results. We live in the age of instant noodles, instant messages, instant movies. You tap a screen and food appears at your door. You swipe and a new video plays in 1 second. Your brain is getting trained like a dog that only sits when it sees a treat. So what happens when you try something that doesn't give you a treat on day one? You start learning English. You open an app. You feel motivated. 5 days later, the exercise gets harder. You don't understand. You miss 1 day, then 2. And suddenly you say, this app is useless. No, the app is not useless. Your addiction to quick results is screaming, where is my reward? If I don't feel smart right now, I'm out. Or you join the gym, you go for 10 days. Your muscles hurt. The mirror looks exactly the same. You don't see abs. You don't see change. And your brain whispers, see, this doesn't work. Why suffer? So you quit. Not because you are lazy. You quit because your brain has been trained to only respect things that give you instant payoff. Content is the same. You finally start a YouTube channel. You upload 1 video, 20 views, second video, 12 views, third video, 7 views, and 1 weird comment. And suddenly you think, I'm not made for this. The algorithm hates me. I'll delete the channel. You're not failing because you are slow. You are failing because you refuse to stay long enough in the no result yet phase. In your brain, this is a dopamine problem. Dopamine is the chemical that rewards you, that gives you that yes feeling. Social media, games, fast entertainment, they all give you tiny hits of dopamine for almost zero effort. So when you face something real, something meaningful, something that needs time, your brain rebels. It says, why should I wait months for reward when I can get 1,000 mini reward by scrolling right now? That's quick results addiction. It makes you believe if it doesn't work fast, it doesn't work. But the truth is the opposite. Everything that truly matters takes time. Remember this line. You don't lose because you are slow. You lose because you don't stay long enough in the part where nothing seems to be happening. Now, let's meet the second brother tomorrow. If addiction to quick results is the enemy of the journey, tomorrow is the enemy of the starting line. Tomorrow sounds kind. Tomorrow I'll start my diet. Tomorrow I'll start my business. Tomorrow I'll fix my CV. Tomorrow I'll read that book. Tomorrow I'll learn that skill. Tomorrow is polite. It never shouts. It tells you, relax. You had a long day. You're tired. You deserve a break. You'll be more focused tomorrow. And then something strange happens. Tomorrow comes and you say, tomorrow again. Tomorrow comes again. And you say it one more time. You repeat this loop so many times that one day you wake up and realize 5 years have gone. 5 years of I'll start next week. 5 years of I just need the right moment. 5 years of watching other people do the thing you keep planning to do. You look back and you can't even remember what you did with all that time. You only remember the feeling. I could have been further. I could have been someone else by now. Tomorrow is a sweet knife. It doesn't stab you in one day. It cuts you one tiny slice at a time until your dream has bled out quietly. So what do? You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need a big transformation. You don't need to change your whole life in one dramatic week. You need one small act of rebellion. One thing you do today that you were planning to do someday, write one page, record one video, study for 20 minutes, send one email, walk for 10 minutes. Something so small that your brain can't say no, but big enough to break the spell of tomorrow. Because the moment you take one real step today, you become a different person from the one who kept saying later. Addiction to quick results and tomorrow are twins. One makes you quit too early. The other stops you from even starting. Imagine if, instead of being controlled by them, you had a clear, simple path to fight both at the same time. What if there was a 30-day roadmap, small enough to follow, but powerful enough to prove to yourself that you can actually change? That's what we're going to talk about next. Now, let's talk about the most dangerous enemy of all. Not people, not the algorithm, not the economy. Your old identity. Your old identity is not your name, your passport, or your job title. Your old identity is the way you act every day. The excuses you repeat, the stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you can or cannot do. I'm just not that kind of person. I'm not a business person. I'm not a gym person. I'm not a content person. Those sentences sound harmless, but they are locks. And every time you say them, you close the door on your future a little more. Let me tell you a story. I once met a man in his 40s. When he was young, he dreamed of becoming a software engineer. He loved computers. He watched people build things with code and thought, that's what I want. But every time he considered learning, his old identity stepped in. I'm not smart enough for that. I'm not a tech person. I'm not the kind of guy who works in an office with a laptop. So he picked a random job. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was fine. Enough to pay the bills. Not enough to feel alive. Years passed. Whenever he saw his friends move ahead in their careers, he told himself, it's not my fault. I'm just not built like them. One evening, his 8-year-old daughter came home with a math homework sheet. Dad, can you help me? She asked. He looked at the problems. They weren't very hard, but his mind froze. He couldn't remember how to do them. His daughter stared at the page, then looked at him and asked, Dad, when you were my age, what did you like the most? He smiled and said, I liked computers. She paused and said one simple sentence. Then why didn't you learn? That question hit him harder than any insult. For the first time, he saw the price of his old identity. It wasn't just his salary. It wasn't just his CV. It was his ability to show up for his own child as the man he once wanted to be. In that moment, he realized something brutal. When you refuse to grow, it's not only you who pays. The people who need you also pay. The next day, he signed up for his first programming course. Not because he wanted to become a famous engineer. Not because it was too late or perfect timing. But because he refused to be the man who always said, I'm not that kind of person. And then watched his child ask him why. Your old identity doesn't just keep you poorer or weaker. It turns you into a version of yourself that your future self will be ashamed to remember. So here's the truth. If you stop at feeling emotional right now, your old identity will win again. It will let you cry, feel motivated for 10 minutes, and then whisper, we'll start tomorrow. You don't need more emotion. You need a clear, simple path to act differently. So let me give you a 30-day roadmap, not to make you perfect, but to prove to yourself that change is real. Week 1, face what will people say with small actions. Every day, a photo, a thought, a short video, nothing polished, nothing fancy. The goal is not likes. The goal is to train your brain to survive being seen, to realize that nobody is watching you as closely as you think. Week 2, lower your ego one step. Every day, ask someone, can you show me how to do this? It can be a coworker, a friend, even a YouTube tutorial, a new shortcut, a better way to write, how to fix something at home. You're not just learning skills. You're training the muscle of humility. You're teaching your brain that asking for help does not destroy your value. It increases it. Week 3, detox from quick results. Pick one thing and give it 20 minutes a day. Reading, working out, learning a language, building your project. Here is the rule. You are not allowed to judge your progress before day 21. No mirror test. No, is this working? Just show up. You are reprogramming your dopamine. You are teaching your brain to enjoy the process, not only the prize. Week 4, break the spell of tomorrow and old identity. Every morning, write one sentence. If I was already the person I want to become, what is one thing I would do today? Then do that one thing, not 10 things. 1, maybe that future, you would have sent an email you're scared of. Maybe they would go to the gym. Maybe they would record a video. Act like that person for one small moment each day. Because the only way to become them is to start behaving like them. 30 days won't magically build your dream life, but they will do something even more important. They will break the story that you can't change. And once that story breaks, your old identity loses its power. Remember the big picture. Your success doesn't come from adding more and more hacks to your life. It comes from removing the 5 enemies inside you. The fear of what will people say, the ego that says, I know it all, the addiction to quick results, the sweet lie of tomorrow, and the old identity that keeps telling you, this is just who you are. If you're ready to start that 30-day fight with yourself, make a small promise right now. Type day 1 inch, the comments, not for me, for you. Because 30 days from now, you don't have to be the same person who is watching this video today. You can look back and say, that was the moment I stopped living as my old self and started becoming who I was meant to be.